It's time for Better, Worse, or the Same.
Shannon, come on. I want to play. You get in here and host this.
All right, well, you guys were just talking about the Matt Ryan in Indianapolis. So it had me thinking, let's look back at some of the off-season moves, quarterback moves that were made this offseason, whether or not the teams actually got better, worse, or the same. So we'll actually start there, Key, with the Indianapolis Colts. After trading for Matt Ryan, are the Colts better, worse, or the same? What you got, Key?
I think they're the same. I think they're the same. In when you look at it, they're putting themselves in a position to have a chance to win this division. At 3-3-1, they're a game and a half behind Tennessee Titans. Season's still 10 games to go. I think they're the same as they were a year ago.
I think they're slightly worse. I mean, I think last year Jonathan Taylor was having an MVP type year, and I think obviously injury and other things that are factored into this season. It's not the same offensive punch that they had last year, and Matt Ryan hasn't been the same.
I think I know, Kia, you make a good point. Look, you're 3-3-1. Last year, were they 9-8? Like, so it's the same thing. But to my eye, they are worse because the O-line is clearly worse than it was, right? To me, that's a huge part of it. And then, at least in the regular season, Carson Wentz was a dynamic quarterback, had a pretty good year, and Matt Ryan just looked cooked, right? So I got to say they were worse.
All right, Key.
Dynamic?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, Carson Wentz was a good regular season quarterback last year, I would say.
All right, Key. The Denver Broncos, of course, they made big headlines this offseason trading for Russell Wilson. So, Key, are the Denver Broncos better, worse, or the same after trading for Russell Wilson?
I mean, as of right now, they're worse. I think that over time, maybe they get slightly better, but they're certainly worse. Russell Wilson is having just a horrible season. This offense at Nathaniel Hackett and company just looks just gross. Basically, is how I can sum it up. Russell Wilson looks like a shell of himself from 3 years ago when him and Jay went to London. It's a totally different situation.
I would say that they're worse.
To play checkers, that is.
To play checkers, not chess. Always play
chess. Not
Always
checkers,
play
yeah.
chess, man. I would say that they're worse. I put a lot on Russell Wilson, but I also put a lot on the fact that this Denver Bronco team, let's put this into perspective. It feels like Aaron Rodgers was the one that wanted Nathaniel Hackett to be there in the first place. That is why he got the job, because the Broncos thought they were going to get Rodgers. They didn't get Rodgers. They ended up with Russell Wilson, and Russell Wilson is there with him. So still accountability on Russell Wilson, but I don't know if Nathaniel Hackett is the guy for this job long term.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. The only thing I would say, they're a little worse. They have a chance to be better, though. They have a chance to be better than they were last year. They got to get it together, but right now they're a little worse.
All right, looking at the quarterback on the other side of that Russell Wilson trade was, of course, Drew Lock. Key, Seattle Seahawks, better, worse, or the same after trading for Drew Lock?
I think they're better. I think they're
quite a season Drew Lock is having, huh, Key?
Yeah, it gave Pete Carroll a clear vision of who Geno Smith was and what Geno Smith could do with his football team. On top of that, it also allowed them to pick up Noah Fant, the tight end. It also allowed them to get a bunch of draft picks. They got rid of a guy that they did not want to pay money to, although it was somewhat of a mutual parting of the ways. And so in the end, they're a much better football team. They got better because of it.
You imagine if
Drew Lock is not even in the equation, though. Does he dress? I don't even.
That's what I'm saying. You imagine if you're Drew Lock at home listening to this shit, you're like, God, I got traded and it gave Pete Carroll a clearer vision of who the better quarterback was, and that's why we're successful. Thanks for the trade, Drew Lock.
Did it not?
No, it did. I'm saying you're right. You're absolutely right about it.
I'm not saying, I didn't say that to say that I'm right. I'm just like, when you look at it, I'm sure Pete was like, yeah, Geno could. Yeah, Geno definitely.
Yeah.
I remember it like it was yesterday. Key and I were sitting right here going, Jay, I'm telling you, it's going to be the same thing with Geno Smith.
Oh, I love how you just add your name
Key
to Key. It was just Key. Let's be honest about it.
Why are you pointing fingers,
I'm,
Jay?
I'm
we're
not,
a team.
I'm not pointing. I'm just giving the guy credit for when he gets it right.
No, but check this out though. When they drafted Russell Wilson 11 years ago, I think it was, they had just signed Matt Flynn to a huge contract because Matt Flynn had not dominated, but played well in a couple games in Green Bay. And so they signed him to a big deal in free agency. They drafted Russell Wilson. Pete Carroll took one look at him and was like, get rid of this dude, man. I know we just gave him a bunch of money. Same thing with Drew Lock.
Pete Carroll.
They like, yeah.
Pete Carroll needs a quarterback to get to nice and steady. He can run. He can throw. Take what the defense gives him, run around a little bit, extend plays, keep his eyes down the field. Like, run the ball. It's same thing.
All right, we're playing better, worse, or same. Looking at some of the offseason moves in the NFL at the starting quarterback position right here on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. I got you, Key. I got you back. I got you back.
5 times.
I got you.
Who sneezes 5? 6 times.
I got you.
6 times. Who sneezes 6?
Nice. That's
They
an
usually
allergic.
say it comes in 3.
6 is an allergic reaction.
All right, Key. All right, Key. Better, worse, or the same? Key, after sneezing 5 straight times on air. Better, worse, or the same?
I don't have a talkback button, but anyway.
Who's the team, Shannon?
No,
I was about to say, who's the team,
No,
man?
I said Key, better, worse, or the same after sneezing. But anywho, let's move on to an NFL team.
You got to be better, man.
The Carolina
76
Panthers,
times,
Key.
Good.
Carolina
Worse.
Panthers, better, worse, or the same after trading for Baker Mayfield?
Worse. They worse. P.J. Walker looked like the second coming of Cam Newton compared to Baker Mayfield. I mean, they're a worse football team. Everybody thought that this was it. Oh, Sam Darnold, oh, he stinks. Get rid of him. Baker Mayfield. So much for that, huh?
Yo, real talk. It was 3 weeks ago, I think, we were on our conference call, and I said to both Shannon, our producer, and Max, I said, is Baker Mayfield done? Like, is this the it?
I remember
Is
when
this
we
it
said
for
that, Jay.
Baker Mayfield?
I remember when we asked that question.
Yeah, we asked once again, you and we.
Well, Key was thinking about, but you and I
the
did.
QBR speaks for itself. Are you even looking at Baker Mayfield? He is a backup. He'll be a backup.
Yeah, he's
There's
a
so
backup.
many in professional sports, professional sports in general, but in particular football, because I play football. When you do things and you misjudge a situation, it can trick your money off. He misjudged his situation in Cleveland. If he was nicey and goody and made good with OBJ, just follow me here. If he made good with OBJ and they were, and everything was working, right? Then the rest of the team would follow him because OBJ was so beloved. The moment that you ran OBJ out of town, they didn't like you no more. Then your play suffered. Then they shipped you out of town. And guess what? You'll never get to the $250 million deal you could have gotten. Think about that for a minute.
I know it too
It
well.
miscalculated his
It clearly wasn't working with Odell. Right? He wasn't getting him the ball.
Man.
All right. Anyway.
No, Jay likes money, so I had to make
Tricked
sure.
off his money. Hey, man.
Show me someone who doesn't like money. That's what I want to see.
$200 million, man.
Go ahead, Shannon.
Marketplace.
All right, Key. The Atlanta Falcons signed Marcus Mariota this offseason. Are the Falcons better, worse, or the same with Mariota?
Better with Mariota. I didn't think that was going to be the case. I thought Mariota would have been a stopgap guy, but it looks like he's going to be there fighting for a long-term future. And I understand they drafted the kid out of Cincinnati, but he's fighting, and they're right in the thick of things within the division. Many people think they might win the division.
Just goes back to coaching for me. I mean, we're buried in Las Vegas with John Gruden for a while. I mean, he finds the right situation with some of the right pieces around him with the right offensive scheme. It looks exponentially better.
Yeah, they're better. I mean, they were dealing with Matt Ryan, who clearly his arm isn't the same, right? He's slower. Mariota's a better athlete, and he's entering his prime now, and it looks better.
All right, this will be an interesting one here, Key. The Washington Commanders, they traded for Carson Wentz this offseason. Are the Commanders better, worse, or the same with Carson Wentz as their starting quarterback?
Same. They're the same. Same as they were whoever was starting quarterback like last year, the year before that. They haven't been good in years, man. They the same. Last time I think they might have been good was with Kirk Cousins.
So I think they're worse. I think that they're worse, frankly. I think this is a defense that was looking to be revamped. And frankly, from what I saw from Taylor Heineke the other day, he is better.
Yeah, I would say the same. I kind of agree with Key, though. Jay, you might be right on like a little bit, but like who's even paying attention? They're no good as usual. Right? Like in that sense.
Okay.
They were really good defensively.
Yeah.
Chase Young was a part of the unit.
That's
defense, they're this, that. I'm like.
But my point is they don't factor in the division as usual. Like, the division has 3 good teams and the Commanders.
I watched them play live, man. All it took for me is to look and go.
Somehow, as a Giants fan, even when Washington's good, they're never the ones that I worry about. I'm looking at Dallas. I'm looking at the Eagles. I'm like, yeah, Washington. Whatever. When you see Washington, it's like, oh, that's the divisional game we should win. Anyway.
All right, the next team on our list here, the Pittsburgh Steelers. They signed Mitchell Trubisky to be their starting quarterback this offseason. Key, the Steelers better, worse, or the same with Trubisky at QB?
I think they're the same. I think they are. I mean, I think they're the same. They really haven't done anything that makes me go, wow. I mean, yeah, they beat the New England. I mean, they beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but they're not. I don't know what they are. They just a team with a logo right now.
Yeah, I mean, they're the same to me. It's unfortunate because you feel like Kenny Pickett can elevate this team. I mean, he still could potentially down the line.
Like in that sense,
okay.
No, they were really
okay.
good defensively.
Yeah.
Chase Young was a part of the unit.
That's right.
I don't